Good. There we go. Welcome to another great episode, season 14. I always do the show with my theme song. Here we go. 313 Detroit love, the Motor City. Detroit love, can't nothing stop me. Detroit love, I love my city. Detroit love. That's the theme song, Detroit Love, for my first album, The JLE Experience. On music copyright, don't mute nothing, Facebook. Have another amazing guest for you today. I have parent advocate, academic interventionist, and Hezekiah Kidz, Inc., founder and CEO, Dr. Vertongie Kendrix-Bailey. I said it all right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Welcome to the show.
Good afternoon. How are you today?
All right, in this sunny day in Detroit, it ain't going to be cold for the moment. It's up and down right now. The cross
Bipolar
is
weather.
rising in the morning. Like, what the world? Well, it's Mother's Day weekend. Have Mother's Day to all the mothers. Should be a nice weekend. Barbecue, take your moms out. Well, we're going to go ahead with this first question. What led you to this path?
Um, I always loved doing children. Fast forward, I had a son, 2025. He was diagnosed in 2029 as having autism. I decided I need to be boots on the ground to make sure no other parents struggle like I struggled to find resources to educate him and to just make sure he had a productive life like his other brothers. So my son really motivated me to help other parents. But I had a little struggle in getting what I needed to help him.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds like a lot, unfortunately.
Well, you do what you do for your kids.
That's true. Now, what is Hezekiah Kids Inc.?
Hezekiah Kids Incorporated is an organization that my son actually started, and it was something that he put together when he was about 10. So the kids that had autism could get together, draw, eat ice cream, go to the movies, that type of thing. So I turn it into where I'm educating parents on resources that's available to them, having parents come together to bridge the gap, and so that we are connected, networking, and whatever resources we know we're sharing with each other, but also empowering the parents so they can help their kids and empowering the community so the community can understand that our kids that are empowered differently need different resources and a different type of love.
Okay. So, with your company, what are the services exactly
So I
that you?
do I do a lot of workshops. I do a lot of parent support groups. I have annual events such as Community Autism Awareness Day. I do community dinner dances. I do outings with the kids where they can get together and just mingle. So it's basically my organization is basically just bridging the gap with the community and creating a space for children that's living with differently, a space there where they feel where a space where they are comfortable to be in.
Okay, that's awesome. Now, I also saw that you're a parent advocate. What does that look
So
like?
a parent advocate is where I help the parents because this was a process where I felt I was an educated mom, but I wasn't an educated mom. Meaning I had all these degrees, all this work experience, very educated in the community, and a wealth of knowledge, but I didn't understand my son's IEP, what I should be asking for, what he was entitled to, and his rights. So as I learned, thanks be to God, he empowered me. So now I empower parents and I advocate for parents to make sure that their child is receiving the services that they should receive, that they're getting the medical diagnosis that they should receive, and just helping them along with the process. Because this is a journey, and if you don't know the correct jargons, you may not receive the correct services that your child needs.
True. Um, how do the kids adapt to utilizing the basic skills that you help them with?
Well, it varies from child to child because each child that's living with autism is on a different spectrum. Each child has a different journey. There are no kids with autism that's alike. Um, there are no two people living on earth with autism that's alike. They may have similar traits, but each child will learn individually, and you just kind of have to study that child or that young adult and find a niche to help them. But I always found my niche.
Okay.
We were hands-on family, so if I was doing something in the
Makes
kitchen, I
sense.
brought him in to help me. If I was doing something outside, I took him outside. If I went somewhere, I took him with me. If I'm watching TV, I'm letting him watch TV. Because in the beginning, he had a problem with noise. He had a problem with being in large crowds. He had difficulty adjusting from one task to another. But I kept working with him where we, like my son, my other older son, he was an athlete. So I would take him to games and we would probably stay about 10, 15 minutes until he grew and where he was able to stay the entire game. So it's kind of graduating
Okay.
them into a process.
Awesome. Now, what is an academic interventionist?
So I work for Detroit Public Schools CD, and the academic interventionist, our role is to make sure the kids, I'm a reading person, so I work with the Orton Gilliam program to make sure the kids are learning on their grade level, and give them lesson plans and work to help them to build their reading skills.
Okay. Makes sense. Um,
Because if you can't read, you can't. There are a lot of things that you can't do. Take care of your personal business. So literacy is a problem that we're having not just in Detroit but across the nation. So we work with the literacy, making sure they're literally able to be sustainable in society.
Now, has the numbers gotten better in Metro Detroit with the
They're
literacy?
getting there. They're getting there.
Okay.
They're getting there. Not where we want them to be, but I do see improvements and growth. So this is a community effort.
Okay. Some might, but not everybody. Do know.
Mm,
There's something they got to work on. As long as they willing to work
it
on it.
is.
Because you got to be able to read everything. Help do what you need to do.
And you know what? When my
Um,
kids were
what
younger,
is?
I would
Go ahead.
make them. I would have my kids reading stop signs in the grocery store. I would have them reading with me. So everything I made is fun, but it was also educational. So that's a
Okay.
community based. It's just learning the niche to help your kid.
Yeah, I remember our mom coming up in the 80s. All the stuff you were probably doing in kindergarten, we was already doing that at the crib.
Right.
Education was number one. You
It was.
learn, and if you got a C or a D, it better not be because you was playing around. That's the best you can do. We get some help. If your average say you like 3.5 for a grade point, you start dipping. Oh, you in class playing around.
Oh
Now
yeah.
you can't lie because the teachers and parents were teammates. So what my kid doing? Oh, he was talking to that girl in class. Like, oh, that's why the grades dropping. Okay, and then you get
Just when
dealt
we
with.
had the community. Just when we had a community.
Yeah, it got to be
And I
tough.
want to get back to that community.
Do you have
I want to,
parents that do try to work with you to get that teammate
I
thing
do.
like that?
I do because I make learning comfortable. I make my life journey transparent. And I think when you're transparent with the parents, that helps them a lot. Lets them makes them to understand they're not alone in this journey. Whereas I wasn't good at math, but my sisters and my brother was good at math. So we all worked together so that we made sure we all learn from each other.
Okay, yeah,
So nobody's going to be successful at everything.
true. Now, how has government aid helped with autism in the schools?
Um, Now it depends on what you're looking for. So
Okay,
let me be transparent with that. There are some kids that's not in the right setting, and I'll just be very transparent with that. And it's because we have to do better on educating the parent. But we need to go back and educate the educator on how to deal with the kids with autism because this is fairly new. And I've been on this journey with my son for 15 and a half years. He's 19 now.
Okay.
So there's phases to it. And I was an educator before I had him. But being a mom of a child with special needs, it took a different turn, a very different turn.
Okay.
Meaning I was learning because there were things that he needed that I was not doing already in my career path. There was things that educators need to know about my son that I didn't know how to explain to him that he needed um, different curriculums, different sensory items, different breaks, different speech. So as I learned, I'm like teaching the educate, teaching the communities and some educators. So I do a lot of workshops because this journey is very different. And I'm not for sure how long autism has been around, but it seems like there are more cases of autism. So I'm really teaching the community, and it's really a journey for me because now my son, he's going into manhood. He'll be 20 next month.
Mm-hmm.
So there are phases that I'm even learning. Like, he turned 18 and I went to the bank with him trying to take care of some business. And they're like, oh, no, you can't do this. So I went to the doctor. Like, he's 18. So I'm trying to explain to him. He doesn't grasp it. So I had to educate myself. Oops, let me go get some guardianship paperwork so that I can do these things for him. So each milestone is a journey for me. So as I learn, I educate the community. He's now elected official. He's the youngest precinct delegate. So
Nice.
he's teaching his peers and people with disabilities to look at the candidates and then learn how to vote. And then he's telling his peers to have their parents grab absentee ballots so that they can vote. So it's a different phase of life. He told me in the next couple of years he want to take driver's ed training. So we're working on those things as well. So it's
Okay.
a journey. It's a learning journey. And I think with this son, this is going to be a learning journey for life for us because he's a male, and we had to go through some things and
Agree.
nothing bad, but there are just different things, obstacles that we face that we had to
Mm-hmm.
go through. So there's a hurdle. Even getting him into college, that was another thing. Getting him feasible employment, making sure that he's safe because he does not communicate with it like the average person. He's very
Understood.
high functional, but he may not always grasp what you think he should grasp.
Okay. Have you thought about writing a book?
My son, um, funny that you should mention that. My son, he's a four-time author. He just released his fourth book, Paint the Deep Blue. So if you would like those copies of those books, you can get those from me. If you DM me and Hezekiah Kidz, we can arrange for those books to be mailed out to you. So he's an author, and I am working with my tribe, and we have a Fearless Elevation book coming out June 30th, where that tells our journey. And in that book, my chapter, I talk about my journey in life, being an advocate of a child with special needs and things that I have faced in life, emotional, mentally, physically, and how I turned my struggles into strength to find peace to help others.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a compelling book because by you getting it out the mud, you formulating a blueprint on how to deal with this phase or that phase, the next phase.
Yeah, it's been you know what? I never want any other parent to go through. I want it to be where they're learning as I'm learning, and
Hmm.
they're teaching the community what their needs are.
Yeah, because
It's different.
some people are still learning what is it, how do you treat it, how do you engage the person, and you got to have the proper empathy, in my opinion, to deal with people that's dealing with that issue
You do, and
and patience.
I'm I'm also when I started, I do parent support groups because as I'm learning, I had a strong support group. I had my siblings, I had my parents, I had friends, but a lot of parents don't have that. And parents that have kids with autism and other disabilities, we also need mental support because it's challenging for us.
Hmm.
It brings a toll on us because we don't always have the right answers. We're afraid that we might not be parenting well. And we just need a support group to be able to talk with other parents to see how they face these challenges, what they did to get over it. So I do a lot of community work and bringing parents together to get the resources and connecting them with people that can help them. Because it is very taxing if you don't have a support group, especially when your child is nonverbal and a runner. My son, he was both. He was
I don't know.
nonverbal and he was a runner.
You got track skills to catch them, man.
Yeah, and I always laugh at him. Then I said, "Well, baby, when you was younger, mommy that wasn't fat, but now that you're not running, mommy picking up weight." And so we always laugh about it because he was a runner. We never knew which way he was gonna go, so I was always ready to came out the heels into gym shoes. But it was a lot, and I'm so thankful to God that He entrusted me with Hezekiah because somewhere behind me, there's some parent that's gonna need the blueprint in which I walk.
Absolutely. What has been the progression of helping children with disabilities in Detroit Public School Community District now
Well,
compared to back then?
I do a lot of my work in the community. So if
Okay.
kids from Detroit Public Schools, if they come to my events, then that's fine. But I do a lot of work in the community where I'm working with political figures, community, church. I've done some work with my sorority and other sororities, Divine Nine.
Hmm.
Um, I think that the biggest accomplishment that I've seen was seeing a lot of my son's friends graduate from high school. A couple
Nice.
of them have gotten jobs. One of his friends now is a gamer. He's here and graduated from college with his degree in technology. Um, One of his friends is driving. So to see that they can do these things, but it takes a little bit longer. But if we take the time with them, it can be done. It's
Wow.
just having, and I tell people, give us grace as parents, give us grace with our kids, give them grace to learn.
And that's amazing that this might take that stuff for granted, but that's basic stuff that some people through challenges have to work to do.
Well, my son, he had four other brothers, so he was always would tell me, he said, "Yeah, Mama, I'm different, but I'm gonna get there where they are now." And he's getting there. He's a gamer. He's the author of books. He's an artist. So he's very talented, but it took time for
Artists,
us.
you made
Yeah, he
music.
draws. No, he
Oh, draw.
draws
Okay.
pictures. Hmm.
Nice.
So the only instruments that he's playing right now are the drums and
Okay.
the guitar. So he's not playing anything right now, but it's Friday night. In a few minutes, you may hear some bongos, him beating on bongos, but it's okay. And he left the guitar at grandma's house. Yay!
Wow. Awesome. All right.
But
Respect.
right now he's doing his game because he's trying to create a video game. So we're gonna let him
Wow.
be.
That's amazing.
Hmm.
That take a lot to create a game. That's pretty dope.
Well, I'm thankful that he's found his niche and he's still learning his way.
Okay. I look forward to seeing this game out there.
Yeah, me too.
Well, we
Me
reached the
too.
point where promote and market what you have coming up. Floor is yours.
Okay, so June 14th, I'm having a autism family check-in. That's where the families can come together for a small conversation. That's going to be at the Dearborn Library on George Street, Dearborn Heights, from 11 to 1, June 14th. Then on June 21st, I'm having Hezekiah Paints Shades of Blue. That's going to be at Esther Crafty. That's down in Southgate. That's on what is that? The 21st. That is from 10 to 12. And then save the date,
Okay.
September 28th. That's going to be my annual Community Autism Awareness Day. You can look up these events on Hezekiah Kids Group. November 1st will be our first gala, which will be, so we're doing the gala because we do a lot of free activities for our families. So this will be a fundraiser for that. We just had our community dinner dance last month, which was free to the public. We had a couple rappers come out. They had
Okay.
free dinner, a couple books. And then my son's book signing is probably going to be in August. I haven't had a date yet for it, but it's going to be in August. But we have the three save the dates so far. Those for June 14th, June 21st, September 28th, and November 1st. And all that can be found at Hezekiah Kids
Okay.
Group Incorporated or on my page at Dr. Vertongie Kendrix-Bailey.
Okay. That's pretty. Anything else coming up? That's it.
Not yet. I have some things in the fire right now. As you know, May is Mental Health Awareness Month.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so we're going to be doing a lot of mental pop-up shops with different people. So I will post them as they come available. And every Sunday from
Okay.
4:30 to 5:30, I have my podcast, which is the Spectrum Talk with my other co-hosts on there. And we talk about things to help the community. We share our experiences to help the public. And our experiences also help other educators because educating kids in this day and age, where probably the rates have increased with autism, is very challenging. So we just ask the community to show some grace. We ask the parents to show grace with our educators. We ask the educators to show grace with the parents
Okay.
as we matriculate through this journey of autism and other disabilities.
Now, how long you had the podcast?
So the podcast we started in November of 2024, and so we're going into our fifth month. Thanks be to
Nice.
God. So we're just out here educating families through the Spectrum Talk. You can check us out on YouTube, Instagram, Hezekiah Kidz Group, um, the Spectrum Talk, or Dr. Vertongie on Instagram.
Okay, man, check that out.
hmm We're gonna have to get you on there one day.
Hey, let me
Um,
know when you want me.
to tell about the things that you've done in the community because sometimes parents just need to be able to share their story. And I know I've been watching your podcast, and you bring a lot of different people on, and you have a lot of resourceful topics. So we're going to have you come on because maybe a parent may want to come to the Spectrum Talk, and then a parent may want to come, or resource vendor one may want to come and share their story, what they do in the public on your show.
Absolutely. I love to get those stories.
Yeah.
Bring more awareness to it because people
Mental health
dealing with
right
it.
now, we are dealing with mental health, and it's more serious than we think. Um, I was talking to a parent the other day, and I don't want to be on here crying, but I know you never know how blessed you are. There are a lot of people that are struggling because they really can't understand their kids.
Hmm.
I don't take it for granted. But when my baby was nonverbal, I was afraid to leave him anywhere but with my mom and dad.
I understand because
So,
you want to protect them,
mhm.
and I mean, to not be able to do that communication, you might be wondering if something wrong with them, but you can't help them because y'all haven't figured out that communication barrier. Yeah, I totally sympathize because that's hard.
And it's very mentally challenging on the parents. It's very taxing because
Hmm.
you're always on edge. You never know what your child is facing, what they're going through, how they feel. When my son started talking, you don't know what a relief that was to me because
Great day.
um, it was a great day, but it was sometimes we still I need to understand what he's going through. But it was very hard. It was very hard. So I see kids, parents, they're always, sometimes us autism moms and dads, we may look a little stressed out, and we are because
Hmm.
our day is very different from day to day. It's not the same.
I can only imagine. And
Mhm.
y'all are strong because some people walk away, unfortunately.
Yeah, and you have those
I
stories too, and
heard a few stories.
I've heard some of my son's friends. They tell me they said, "Return, you do a good job with Hezekiah. You take him wherever you go. He has friends, family." Um,
Hmm.
I've heard the other side too. When my child turns 18, I'm looking for a group home to put him in.
Mm.
I just feel we can't give up on our child. We have to do the best to help them.
Hmm. Yeah,
So
don't give up. And I pray for other people who might deal with that they get the patience and not give up.
that
Because
right. You're right.
just
It's
the hand you was dealt. It is not their fault. It ain't your fault. Just the hand you was dealt them for you. But God know what He doing. So it's something great gonna come from it. As long as you
and
can
you know what?
go through that journey.
It is. It's a journey, and you never know who's watching you, and you never know the purpose that
Mm-hmm.
God has for you in this. And I believe my purpose, because I hear a lot of people that said they have watched me with Hezekiah. I think the purpose of was to show me it can be done, and God
Mm-hmm.
gave me a test so that I can have a testimony. My
Mm-hmm.
baby was here, but now he's here, and even though he's here, he still has a long way to go. So each phase of life will be different. So I thank God that He's using me as a vessel with Hezekiah because it was challenging at first, but it has gotten easier because now he's advocating, he's teaching people how to advocate for themselves, which is really funny to me.
That's awesome.
It's funny to
That's
me. It is so funny to me.
they looking
He
at them
works a
like,
summer job.
well, you doing? I guess yeah, you can do it too. Like, yeah, I got the same thing, but look at me. And that's sometimes some people just need that little bit of hope. Like, well, if they figuring this out, I guess I can figure it out. I'm not hopeless.
Yeah, yeah. It was different. I think he worked a summer job 2 summers in a row.
Nice.
And he told the little boy, well, if you want to take your lunch at 12:30, just go tell me you want to take it at 12:30.
Nice.
So when he got home, I
Uh-huh.
said, Hezekiah, they have scheduled lunch breaks for a reason. He said, no, Mama, he was used to eating at 12:30. I told him to go downstairs and say, you want to eat 12:30? And he said, that's his right.
Oh
I was
man.
like, and then gave me some, he looked up something on the internet and gave it to the boy. I said, it wasn't that serious, Hezekiah. It wasn't that serious.
Oh man. That's
And
funny.
his boss told me, he said, she told me, she said, he was adamant about the boy wanting to switch his lunch break. And I had to tell him, you're in somebody else's business. Don't get fired.
That's awesome. What has been your biggest challenge on your journey?
Um, the biggest challenge that we have now is we want to do a lot of activities for the kids, but the finances to be able to do the activities. Like we're planning a movie night,
Mm-hmm.
a dinner night, or the kids can come out and have dinner, or just a quick pizza and be able to talk with other kids. Just getting the finances to do these activities. Because not all families are fortunate to have extra money to do extra activities. Because a
Okay.
lot of people's money, you may look at it, but I was fortunate. I had my mom, my dad, and my siblings. They helped me out with Hezekiah. But I just became aware that a lot of parents, when they, even though their child is 18, they're still paying for sitters. It's like a daycare for bigger kids, and that's being paid. They have to pay for that. And so,
Mm-hmm.
spend $20 here to take them bowling or something, they may be taxing on them. So all my events for the public, except the gala, they're free to the kids and free to the public. So the gala will be our fundraiser so that we can do more next year.
Okay.
But that's the only
Definitely,
obstacle.
definitely let me know when it's coming up, and I'll share the flyer on my social media.
Okay.
Talk about it on my shows. Whatever I can help.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We don't want our kids to be left out, and we definitely don't want the parents to be left out. And sometime my event I had back April 13th, the parents were so happy they were able to talk to other parents, and a lot of them made friends with each other because you never know.
Yeah.
My baby had autism, but I didn't want to just go talking to Jane Doe about my son because she probably couldn't relate to me because her kids were normal.
Mm-hmm.
But at this event, I found the parents, they were networking with each other, they were talking, they became friends, and they doing things. And They wanted me to do the next event, so that's why we're planning an event. That's why we're doing the parent chats next month. We're doing two of them next month, and then in July, I'm working with a pizza parlor, so we can have the kids come in with the moms and dads and sit down and talk with each other. So
Oh,
it's
that's
just bridging the gap, because kids that have
mm-hmm.
disabilities, they're not easy to make friends. So we don't want them to be feeling lonely and depressed because they have feelings as well. So
That's true. In your words, what has been your impact in the community?
I'm getting the community to understand that our kids, they are challenged, but they're not. They're different, but they have their ability and their disability. And with grace and patience, they can do whatever we want them to do. Like my son, he's written 4 books. He's made a couple pieces of jewelry. He's a gamer, so he's an elected official now. He's a precinct delegate. So
Nice.
he's in the community teaching people about their right to vote.
Okay.
So he went to the lady said, "Well, you can't go back there with her while she votes." He said, "Look, that's my grandma. She have trouble standing up, and I'm gonna take her cane back there to her." So he saw some things that need to be changed at the poll for the handicapped people.
Okay. Yeah.
So,
Gotta take care of them too.
and
That's awesome.
that's
Huh?
something I never thought about. Um, accommodations in voting. So I was explaining to my son. I said, "Well, they can't make accommodations because voting is a private right." He said, "But mom, if they can't stand up to vote, then they lose. They give up on a vote."
That's a good point. They should be able to do accommodation for that.
Well,
Even if they
not.
make some for someone that have issues standing, they could sit down and just have a portable stand where it can lower to their level and they can still fill out everything, whatever.
I think Hezekiah issue was needing assistance with voting. I said that's why they have the mail-in ballot, so you
Yeah.
can sit down and take your time with it.
Yeah, they probably will argue that. But I guess no one's made that issue like, well, I like to be there and I'm handicapped
Yeah.
to have something for me.
So they always do a mail-out ballot for him because of my parents.
Hmm.
But he always tell me he wants to go, and he's only voted twice, or 3 times, because he's 19. So he's voted in all 3 elections that he can vote for: the city,
Okay.
the county, the presidential. And I said, "Well, Hezekiah, we can sit down and do the ballot at home, and I drop off." He said, "No, Ma, I want to go in to make sure my vote is counted." So he wants to go in and vote in person.
That's awesome.
Hmm.
We reached Yoda gang. Hope I made you comfortable. Give me that Nietzsche type wisdom over there. What advice do you have for someone trying to find their purpose?
Um, I would say pray on it, and every journey that God gives you is for a purpose. Every door that you're walking through is for a purpose. And in the struggles that you're having, pray to find strength that God gives you peace to help other people. So God had given me a journey which I never thought I would face.
Hmm.
Never in a million years where I thought I was face this, but God gave me strength in that journey, and I call it my blue journey. And I'm helping other parents paint their walkway blue, helping them find their purpose, helping them see that their kid is just as valuable as the next kid.
Okay. That's great advice. Now, is this your first time being interviewed on the podcast?
Yes, it is.
Okay. You
I've
weren't
been
nervous?
on other podcasts. No, because we have our own podcast. I wasn't nervous. With your podcast, you get to the nitty gritty. You jump right in with it. So you have already done your research on people. You have looked them up, so you know what questions to ask. You know their background. You left no stone unturned, and you're like, let me make sure this person is legit if they're known in the community. That's what I like about you.
Well, I'm trying to get the people their flowers, and whatever you're doing, I want to highlight it so somebody can come watch it and do business with you.
But you know what? You also want to make sure you're making a blueprint in the community too, not just talking. So I like to see my success stories, and I'm happy when parents come back to me and tell me they like some event I've done, some training I've done,
Mhm.
and something that I've done that impacted them. So it's not my journey is not to be like I tell people I didn't start this journey to make money to get a name for myself. I started this journey because raising Hezekiah that's living with autism, this is real life to
Mhm.
me. Like I tell people, my son is 19 and I'm 34 years older than him. So I'm concerned. I want him to make sure he's sustainable in life. Now I want to tell other parents to prepare your child. I used to do everything for him, but my oldest son said, Mom, you enabling him to be disabled. He said he played in that room, messed the room up, just like I did. He can come help me clean it up.
I hear that, and it does give them a sense of independence. The more they can do for them,
Yeah,
because now he helping other people, which
which I never
is
thought
awesome.
that's something I never thought I would see him do. I never thought I would see him do that ever.
They got it from you. All the help y'all been putting in, you want to pay it forward. Beautiful
I just
thing.
never thought I would see him advocating the way he's advocating.
Mm-hmm. Had a
Never
good
thought I
teacher.
would see that.
And
Well,
I
I
live
think
by the
he,
tagline what make you feel like family, you're comfortable and all that good stuff.
I think he had a lot of help when he was in school. And I think he just
Mm-hmm.
wanted to be able to help other people. He had lots of help, love, and attention. My son, he
Okay.
was surrounded by great educators, great peer pros, great administrators, great people. And he told me, he's a mama, and everybody don't get that.
No, they don't. No, they don't. Nah,
And then one
it's
day he said, Mommy, I'm sorry, man, had you running when I was smaller. I didn't know no better.
wow.
So
That's
this
awesome.
has been interesting.
Oh yeah, he sounds like an interesting individual.
He is. He is. I'm surprised he hasn't come downstairs to see what I'm doing. I'm really surprised.
You back?
Matter of fact, I better check on him too.
Okay. Well, I want to thank Parent Advocate, Academic Interventionist, Founder, CEO, Hezekiah Kidz Inc., Dr. Vertongie Kendrix-Bailey, sharing her journey. Go check her out. Go to her Facebook page and check out the events they got coming up. And I appreciate your time. I'm gonna do the outro and happy Mother's Day to you.
Thank you.
All right. Have a good one. And now I'm about to do the outro. Yeah, about to do the outro. I always sing it out. At 313, Detroit raised me. Detroit's in me. Can't nothing stop me. 313. Detroit love the Motor City. Detroit love. Can't nothing stop me. Detroit love. I love my city. Detroit love. Happy weekend, everybody.